Anyways, hello.
Hello, just making sure we're live on YouTube and everything.
Welcome to the
We are.
show. I'm your host this evening. Uh,
Yeah,
Hey, listen, if you want to hijack it for an episode, you can.
you absolutely can, but I have nothing clever to say about either of these games, to be honest.
okay, I'll do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah,
Okay, do it.
just for once in my life.
Okay, do it. Intro
I'm
the
totally
show.
gonna bomb. I'm totally gonna bomb this, but
At least
No,
intro the damn show.
Alright.
I'll do the rest. Just intro it.
You're a
all
voice
right, everybody. Huh?
You're a voice actor. You should be able to do this.
True.
Just I'll do the rest. Just intro it at least.
No, I got this. All right, welcome everybody to Football After Hours. I am your host this evening, Shane Hansen, alongside Robert Solosi, Brendan Furtado, and Scoop, who has a full name that I don't actually know.
We don't.
No, I'm kidding. Of course, I know it.
Still
Anyway, so yeah, sure.
Well, by the way, I'm gonna say this really quick, Shane. The first segment is always for you on Mondays, so
Is it? Oh yeah, I guess
Yes.
it is.
yeah. So,
So-
I'll just yeah.
So
Okay,
Shane, do you have any thoughts about the weekend games? Well, Shane, yes, I do.
Okay, okay. I
was a
feel
good intro,
uncomfortable.
though.
I feel
It was
I'll
a good
feel
intro.
I feel uncomfortable not doing the hosting. So let me handle it from here.
I do
I
too.
feel massively uncomfortable.
It
But,
was a good intro.
It was a good intro. It was a good
Thank
intro.
you.
This is just not. I'm not an analyst, so I don't know what to do in this position.
Well, maybe you should be.
I'm not good at it. I suck at it compared to you
kidding.
guys. Okay, yeah. Shane, you introed yourself. Go talk about the weekend.
Well, as a Seattle sports fan, this weekend was fantastic. First of all, not only did I get a win for my football team on Friday, 41-0.
Congrats.
Thank you. We also got to see the Mariners win the ALDS. I almost said NLDS. That's not right.
Well, we also that 15-inning marathon was exhausting.
Yes, it was. And I've never felt such high blood pressure as a sports fan, let me just say. But
Brandon's pointing to himself.
just because, like, as a Mariners fan, I've never been in that situation before. So I was like,
Yeah.
what do I do? You know?
And then, by the way, 2-0 in the series against Toronto, actually hitting better than Toronto, which is amazing.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but I mean, I'll take it. And then, yeah, great start to the series. Huskies won. That was great. The other team I like, Oregon. I know it's weird. I'm a fan of Washington and Oregon. There's a good reason for it, I promise. They didn't do so hot, but, you know,
Sorry, Brandon.
otherwise.
Yeah, I know. All right.
But
We're still gonna
otherwise,
make the CFP. We're fine.
yeah, they should. Otherwise, though, you know, all good. And the Seahawks won, obviously, so I'll take that. But yeah, for the rest of the NFL, I mean, some very strange games this week. I mean, for starters, there was the London game.
Wait, hang on.
Final score 13-11.
I'm good. That game was awful.
Yeah, that's
Why you woke up at 1 a.m. to watch that needs to be
Dude,
said.
I couldn't fall asleep. I woke up at 1 a.m. and I couldn't fall asleep.
Week for these games.
Actually, next week I have like a birthday party thing on Saturday. I'm probably not going to sleep at all. Sunday.
Wait,
or
is it
Friday
your
to
birthday
Sunday.
next week?
No, it's like one of my friends. And so I'm probably not going to sleep. And I need to be careful not to get drunk, so I need to be like really cautious about what I'm doing.
I
So
wasn't expecting that.
yeah, I have to be really cautious next week, and I probably won't sleep. So
yeah.
so
I
there
sent
we
you guys
go.
that. I sent you guys that meme. It was like next time these two teams play, it should be at like 3:30 a.m. on the Weather Channel because
And I would still
you look
watch
at
it, by the way.
yeah, because you're crazy. But you look at the last where was it? You look at the last three matchups between them. Here it is. It's 16-9 Jets, 10-9 Broncos, 13-11 Broncos. Like
And the first time they played, the Jets were like 5-2. Brandon and I were talking about that, and we were like, "What the heck?"
5-2. I don't remember them
Yeah.
being 5-2 that year.
well, that was the Russell Wilson Nat Hackett year.
I know, but how are the Jets 5-2?
Well, their defense. It was their defense. That was Zach Wilson. That was the defense.
Yeah.
That was when the defense was still good.
Because, like I said, Robert Saleh is not a bad head coach.
No, he's not.
That's beside the point. What did you just do with your thumb?
I
You
give you a
can't
thumbs
do
up.
weird things with your
No, but
thumb.
it-
like,
like-
you're like twist. What is going on
Like
with your?
it looked all double jointed.
Yeah, I am double jointed.
Oh, you
Okay,
are
never
double
mind.
jointed. Okay.
But
Can we
yeah,
add?
so-
Can we add more scoopisms to include like weird things he does on camera? Like
Weird things he
like,
does. Like hear that. It's, oh my god.
like everything that happens with the cat.
My mispronunciation counter is up to 3, by the way. So
Wait, hang on. I know I mispronounced Scatabo. What else? Did I
You
mispronounce?
mispronounced Bobby Wagner's last name yesterday.
yeah, you
Oh,
made it German,
I said Wagner. Yeah.
and then
I
you
kinda like
also
that, actually.
you also mispronounced Fred Warner. So
Okay, what?
How do you mispronounce that?
You
He
said
did.
Warner
I
I
or something.
don't remember doing that at all.
you pronounce a W the same way that you did for
You did
Bobby
for
Wagner.
Wagner.
No, because I had just said Wagner, so I accidentally said Wagner. That's not how I say it. I say it Warner.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
It
It still
Shane.
counts. It's still a tally this year. We're still counting it.
All right, Shane. Continue.
Sorry.
You should be sorry. But anyways, no, but yeah, just a lot of crazy games. I mean, the fact that LA versus Miami was that close is kind of concerning. And let's see, Dallas. I don't know how they beat Carolina, but you know, I'll take it. I was looking up.
Carolina beat them.
Carolina.
No, they didn't beat Carolina.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yes.
Good.
Rams, Ravens, that went about as I expected. I mean,
Yeah.
you know. Titans, Raiders. I figured that would be 20-10, but the opposite. Like Titans scored 20.
I can't believe
And then
you
they-
guys picked the Titans. I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
so surprised.
Coach Callahan was ousted today.
Thank God, honestly.
Yeah, about
He was so bad.
Never should have been hired to begin
About-
with. I mean, let's
about-
be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let's see, you work for
They've probably become the worst
Yeah.
organization in the NFL.
Yeah. Their statement made it look worse, actually.
I mean, it's like, yes. Well, I mean, this is their logic, right? You have Mike Vrabel. It's like, all right, so we got this head coach that just got us our trash organization to the AFC Championship a couple years back. So let's fire him. And now let's go and hire a guy who worked for moron Zach Taylor and has never called plays in his life. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, excuse me? What?
And moved
Hello?
off Tannehill, and moved off AJ Brown, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, literally everybody that was decent, and they replaced them with, you know, Calvin Ridley and, you know, past his prime and all these other.
And Julio Jones was beyond long in the tooth.
yeah.
Yeah,
And Burks, who met with the Broncos this week.
The list goes on.
Yeah, Burks was
Mhm.
the acquisition for AJ Brown. Hey, thanks for that, by the way, Tennessee.
it's just a graveyard for old players, really. But anyways, no. So yeah, that's the Titans. Let's see. I mean, otherwise, also, I was very surprised by the Chiefs Lions game.
You know,
I thought that would be like 30-17 the other way, Lions winning, but I really don't understand the Chiefs.
I don't understand a lot of the NFL. I don't understand anybody on the NFL right now. Pretty much.
it doesn't. The NFL does not make sense through 6 weeks. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No. There's been, I mean, it feels like in the last few years the parity has just gotten higher and higher.
Yeah,
Which I mean, it makes it more fun, like you know.
Yeah.
But it's
But I'd
just,
rather teams be equally good, not equally trained.
Yeah, equally bad. Yeah.
that's the funny part as we're talking about that, because I almost have nothing on Commanders Bears tonight. I am massively confused by both of those teams.
I don't know either. I really
I
don't.
mean, I think Commanders are more or less similar to how they were last year. Just
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
I think it took a little while for them to adapt, just because they lost JD for a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Bears, I'm lost. I don't know. I mean, it's you're starting to see kind of the impact Ben Johnson is having on them, but it still is like, this feels off. This is not the right personnel for him. This, you know, it's just, yeah.
Caleb
Yeah.
Williams is not a good quarterback. He's just not.
No,
Like-
I think like, ironically, I think Caleb Williams would look great in like Washington's offense. Or maybe not great, but better, you know.
Yeah.
But and yes, I mean there is the Cliff Kingsbury connection, but I think that kind of air raid style of play caters to him a little bit better, and that usually doesn't work too well in the NFL. But there are some guys that are able to do it, like Kingsbury, Andy Reid, back when they had Tyreek and all those other speedy receivers, and so you know, it's I just feel like Ben Johnson, not just schematically, but like personality wise and whatnot. I just feel like him and Caleb are not a good match.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Russell Wilson and Sean Payton a little bit, you know, where it's like the coach who's just a hard ass, and not in a bad way, but just, you know, no nonsense. This is what we're doing. This is how I want it. And the quarterback who's kind of a diva and just, you know, I want to improvise and be a star. It's like,
Yeah.
no. So, yeah, but I mean, he got the win, so, you know, good on him, I guess. But
Yeah. Anything else, Scoop Brandon, on Commanders and Bears?
God bless Jake Moody for not missing the game-winning kick. Thank you, God.
All I have is I hope that Noah Sewell gets okay from his concussion soon, and I mean that's pretty much it. But I again, we're week 23 of his career. I'm still waiting to see this electrifying, league-breaking Caleb Williams that I was told I was going to see for so damn long.
Yeah. We're not seeing it.
Not just that, but also Washington needs Terry McLaurin at full strength.
Oh, absolutely, they do.
Well, I'll also add this, because we were going back and forth last week, meaning like us on the show, about the Commanders Bears game being a potential, or whether it should have been the what do you call it?
Like the primetime game?
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know why.
For one of them on Monday
Yeah,
night.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I Windows Vista there, but
Windows
just
Vista shout. Jesus.
but just even
Good
though
one.
good for them. The Bears won by 1, but let's be honest. Even with the 1 turnover and the 1 interception, Jaden Daniels looks like the better quarterback tonight on the same stage as Caleb Williams. So looking like the better quarterback on the same stage on primetime as the guy that you got drafted at this like back to back with. Suboptimal optics, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
I mean, do you guys ever notice that, like, and yes, you probably do.
The second pick is always better than the first pick, the quarterbacks?
No. Well, sometimes, yes.
Ryan Leaf, RG3.
Right. But what I was Tua. What I was gonna say is whenever there's a prospect like Caleb Williams or somebody where they're like, oh, this is the greatest prospect we've seen in years. People were saying that about Caleb. People were saying that about Trevor. People were saying that about what's his
Andrew
face?
Luck was the last
Andrew
one.
Luck.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew Luck. But there was a guy like in 17, 18, people were saying that.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to think. You're not thinking of Trubisky, are you?
No. Anyways.
2018 Sam Darnold.
Darnold, yeah. But Darnold
Oh, yeah.
Darnold wasn't that hyped up.
I never bought into the Darnold thing though.
Every time there's a USC quarterback, it's the same thing.
I just realized there was the USC connection there. I didn't even pick up on that.
They said it about Carson Palmer back in the day. They're doing it. They did it with Caleb. They did it with Darnold. Like every USC quarterback that has any flashes of success, they're like, "Oh yeah, next big thing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, USC quarterback failure." Like
as long as we're talking about college for a second, can I throw this in there?
Yeah.
The college landscape halfway through the season, the Arch Manning thing, like, are we getting Spencer Rattler type vibes here, where he just went from being the seemingly consensus first overall pick until he actually was about to go to the draft and then just kind of fell off the face of the earth?
I have him as a 5th rounder if he came out.
I never saw the hype with. I mean, listen, he could still change that. Regardless of what happens this year, I think he wasn't going to come out anyway. I think he was going to play one more year. So
okay.
But even so, this year has been so rough for him. Like he can't even read the most basic. The most basic of plays. He can't even complete it. So it's like, people were saying, "Oh, he's better than Quinn Ewers." I'm like, "What crack are you smoking? Stop it." Arch Manning. If his last name wasn't Manning, he'd be on a D3 score right now, or D2 or D3 score right now.
Thank you.
That's just how it is. Like.
Or he wouldn't be in the SEC. Let's put it that way.
Like, yeah, is he the most? Is he the most athletic of the Mannings? Yeah, but that doesn't make him good. Like, no. It's like Eli and Peyton did have their own issues. I mean, Peyton's a Hall of Famer, but Eli had his issues. Like Peyton in the later stages of his career had his issues. Like Arch is no like wonder kid. It's like, yeah, he's part of a royal family of football players, but. You don't look at, it's like guys that were actually good. It's like the Matthews family. Matthews family was consistently good.
Yeah, Jake's had a good career.
Yeah,
or the Sharps
one too.
Or the Sharps, yeah.
Yeah, but like,
whoever.
Yeah, but it's like I watch Arch Manning, and I'm like, what do thank God people are like, oh, this kid's not playing well, but like. Even that first game, and I'm watching him play, and I'm like, everybody's like, oh, he'll be fine. It's week 1. I'm like, do we not watch how he's playing? That kind of play can't be corrected. That's awful. Like, that's something that's like, oh my God, like that's so bad. He shouldn't even be a starter in the SEC. That's how bad that is. Like,
is he one of the guys where if it weren't for his name, he wouldn't be a starter?
That's what we're saying. Like,
yeah.
It's
he wouldn't be a starter at top end colleges.
No, because and what makes this even worse is everybody's like, oh, this is the first year as a starter. Yeah, but he was sitting behind Quinn Ewers all of last year. He's been in this offense. So the fact that he's come out and looked like this big pile of crap is concerning. It's beyond concerning. And if it continues the rest of the year, then I'm sorry, he ain't gonna make it. Like, it's gonna be worse than everybody's well, Shedeur shouldn't fall out of the first round, but we knew Shedeur was gonna be a later draft pick. Like,
Shedeur was also a prick, so that kind of didn't help.
Well, yeah, but you're not wrong. But
that was his main issue, I think.
Oh, sorry. I think that was his main issue. I think he was second round talent without that.
Like, I don't even think that when it comes to Arch, if he has a bad season but still comes back for next year, and let's say next year he has a good year, like a bounce back year, I don't care what his name is, he should not be anywhere close to the first round.
No.
Like, even this year, if he came out, he wouldn't be anywhere close to the first round. Like Rob's saying, fifth round. I think he's probably like fourth, just because his last name is Manning. If his last name wasn't Manning, he'd be undrafted.
That's what I was asking, and Pringles.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the Bills. I'm gonna team you guys up, Brandon and Scoop, with this stat because I know Scoop wanted to say it. I'll just use it as our tag here. Eagles over the last 2 weeks, 0-2, points per game at 17, average yards per play 5.7. Bills with the exact same. It's pretty hilarious, but it's a microcosm of both of the teams. Scoop.
Yes, it is. The one of the main differences that I see is that Philly has had the national sports media picking on them apart like a dead bird for as long as I can remember in a lot of cases. And for some reason, I keep hearing Josh Allen talked about like he's Joe Montana. Maybe he won a ring first. I don't know. But I keep seeing this, and I remember back 3 weeks ago, you did this. We did this back-to-back weeks. You asked us, Rob, I think this was 3 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago, or 2 and 1 weeks ago, one of the two. You asked us back-to-back weeks, what was our? I forget your phrasing, but it was something like
what's our panic meter? Mine's at a 10.
Panic meter. Yeah, I couldn't remember the word. Panic
meter. Mine's at a 10. I'm at a 10. Calling the federal government.
Mine was damn near a 10 a week ago. My panic meter is broken beyond repair at this point for this team.
How do you? Here's the thing. How do you go almost losing to the Saints? That was bad. Losing to the Patriots, and now Atlanta, which by the way, Bijan ran all over them. But
that's the point I was fixing to make. But it's like even at the beginning of the game, at one point Josh Allen was 5 for 11. I think he had 88 passing yards, and I can't remember if he had a turnover yet or not. But again, and at that point, you couldn't blame the fact that they're being too Josh Allen dependent. They were putting the ball in James Cook's hands, and it's just why do I continue to see this team get 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 excuses made for them? It's just.
We haven't been excusing them on this show. We've been very adamant that they've struggled.
I didn't say on this show. I'm
just saying we're doing better than the national media here.
Yeah,
for good reason.
That's one of the reasons why I love coming on the show, because there's people who I think know more that they're talking about on their worst day than a lot of national media does on their best day. But I just don't understand why. And again, maybe some of this is coming from Western New York, so I just happen to see a lot more like media talking about Allen in particular and one thing or another. Of course, you got to hype up the local guy, blah, blah, blah. But 7 seasons in, and I'll go back to what we've said before, Coach McDermott, if there's any coach that I talk about more than Kyle Shanahan about getting this excuse and that excuse made for him, it's Sean McDermott. And Sean McDermott doesn't have the QB whisperer tag attached to him to bail his ass out. And again, I know that they're 4-2, but they are an ugly 4-2. They're a 4-2 by far and away of the teams that have at least 4 wins, with the weakest strength of schedule that they've faced so far. And it every week I find something to dislike about this team more and more. This team is frauds, capital F. And I just do not understand what people have to see. Yeah, like for example, like Brandon loves to say on both this show and on What's the Scoop, he loves to say stats don't always tell the full story. You want a team that says that stats or record don't tell the full story? Look no further than the Buffalo Bills, because I can watch this team right now, and whether it's I hate this phrase, but whether it's the eye test, whether it's any number of things you want to look at, I don't think right now this team is the best team in its division. And quite honestly, if they ever get their crap together, you could argue at least that they might be the third best team if they were in any division but the AFC East. And I just do not understand why, like last week we were saying that of all the teams that had 4 wins, or I think one team had 5 wins at the point, I think the Colts did, but we were saying at that point that of all the teams, because we said that all 4 and 5 win teams we thought didn't look like 4 or 5 win teams. This is the team that looks like a 4 or 5 win team least out of all of them. And I know we're Philly fans. I know we just watched that dumpster fire that happened against the Giants the other day. It looked like that all the ire that built up over 14 years after the miracle at the New Meadowlands just came out in that single game. But whatever I saw tonight, this is the most fraudulent team that has at least 4 wins, and in my opinion, it's not even close. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if this team misses the playoffs this year, and if they do, I don't see how Sean McDermott comes back next year. And if he does, then I'm sorry, Terry Pegula doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I will say that I think at this point, New England is definitely better. Brandon, how are you feeling about Buffalo? I mean, our panic is through the roof still right now with them. I mean, we still had it high. I mean, we still had it at like 7, but I think you said, depending on how the next few weeks look, as with most of these teams, well, it's been 1 week and you're losing to Atlanta.
Yeah.
After losing to the Pats and almost losing to the freaking Saints.
Yeah. And the only reason, and listen, if this was any other time in the season, it'd be where Scoop is. I'd be off, beyond a 10. The only reason I'm at a 9 is because the AFC is just wide open. That's the only reason. But at the same time, that's still a 9 is still high on a 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah, no, of course.
But here's the thing. Like when I'm talking about, when we're talking about all the 4 and 2 teams, if we look at all of them across the board, or at least like the bigger ones. So Buffalo, Philly, Detroit. Like Detroit doesn't show up in big games. And their defense is god awful. Buffalo secondary, god awful. Coaching, not good. Don't use James Cook quite as much as they should. We've said that for years now. Josh Allen's reverting into hero ball gunslinger pre-2024 Josh Allen. So
basically what we're saying is we kind of felt this coming for a couple of years.
Yeah.
This one game that felt
Yeah, and it's everybody talks about how the national media is crucifying. And listen, Philly's got the Super Bowl champion thing on their back, the bullseye, whatever. So everybody's gonna be talking about us every single week. But
they were talking about us before we won that damn thing.
But it's also funny how you look at all these quarterbacks. So you look at Goff kind of game managing. You look at Josh Allen throwing picks in pretty much the last 2 weeks and throwing really bad ones. He's had 4 really bad turnovers the last 2 weeks. But then what's funny is Jalen Hurts throws an interception for the first time in over 300 attempts, and everybody thinks the sky's falling.
Yeah,
come on now.
Say it louder for the people in the damn back.
So the thing is too, it's when I look at 4 and 2 teams, like with Philly, we know it's 4 and 2, and we know the reasons. We know Philly's talent can overcome the crap coaching because it basically did for the first 11 weeks in 2023 before it fell apart. It was going to fall apart anyway, but at least
this team's a lot better than that damn team.
Yeah, so the talent can still overcome this crappy coaching. Buffalo is who they are and who they've always been, and now it's starting to really crack. That's my big problem, and that's why I think Buffalo's worse than Philly right now. Because just Buffalo feels like they are finally just worn out from the same style of football they've been playing since Josh Allen's been there, and it's you can't win when once again we say the same thing every week. You cannot win if your running back, who's a really good running back, is getting less than 18 touches every single week. There's got to be weeks. Like, listen, that's okay if he's got 17 like he had tonight, but you stagger it. Have 17 one week, 22 another, 20 the next week.
He looked better today. He did look more involved in just what they were doing schematically.
Like he needs 20 touches a week. All the good running backs in the NFL need 20 touches a week. That's my mark. Like, you had Josh Allen not throw a ton of passes. I think he threw 26, I think. Which is fine. But at the same time, but in 26 passes, he threw 2 interceptions. Like, I don't understand, how that's even possible. Like, I can understand if he threw 40, 50 passes and threw 2 picks. He threw 2 picks in 26 attempts. Like, that's just, and to a Falcons defense that's not even good. And for a Falcons team that's not even good. So I look at Buffalo and it's like, it's 4-2, but we know what their problems are. But it's looking worse than it ever did. Even though they're 4-2, it's looking worse than it ever has for Buffalo. Detroit can't win big games. So like Detroit at 4-2 doesn't really surprise me because they weren't going to go undefeated. So it's like Detroit to me is going to be who they are. They're going to beat up all the bad teams like they do every year, score 40, 50 points against the bad teams, and then not show up when the lights get bright. Philly, we know what Philly is. Philly is a product of bad coaching and talent overcoming that, at least offensively. You get to hell, even the 5-1 teams, the Colts, they're winning 1-score games, just like the Bucks, 1-score games, but the Bucks defense is terrible. Like
the Colts, I also don't like their defense. I'm worried about that.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
Every team from top to bottom in this league, it's not just like the Bills or Philly, like the two teams that people thought were going to play each other this year in the Super Bowl. Still could, but it's unlikely.
Let's be honest. I have a lot more trust in Philly. Not as an Eagles fan, I have a lot more trust in Philly right now than I do in friggin' Buffalo.
Yeah, and
which again still isn't much considering where both of the teams are.
And it's crazy.
No, I mean that's a low bar, but I'm still saying that there's at least
through 6 weeks. Do we realize this? Through 6 weeks, Drake May is twice the quarterback that Josh Allen is. Did we look at the first of all, their record is good, but even look at the numbers. He's got they've got this roughly the same amount of touchdowns. Drake May has 2 less interceptions right now in the season, and Drake May I think has 200 yards passing yards more than Josh Allen.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah.
I also want to throw this out there that Josh Allen, I think in his time in Buffalo, has had 2, maybe 3 offensive coordinators that has been in the same team for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May has had back-to-back years, different coaches. He's got Vrabel this year, and he had
Mayo.
What's his noggin last year? Jared Mayo, whatever.
Mayo, Jesus.
Yeah. So Brandon remembers back when we almost hired him in Philly. Good God. But anyway, my point being that just you've got somebody who was entrenched in the same place and roughly the same offense for 7 years, who is subpar or who is not outperforming a quarterback who's in, I think, his 20th game in the NFL and has already had multiple different guys.
Yeah, it's like Buffalo is just
sucks.
Like I didn't even watch that game until the second half. But when I saw that they were down 21-7 against the Falcons, I'm like, "Are you serious? You're
that
down
first half was awful
to the Falcons." Yeah, I don't care who you are. That's just a damning. We always talk about certain teams having to overcome adversity against certain teams or where they struggle at. I don't remember and we're talking about Buffalo being a Super Bowl team. I don't remember the Eagles last year having a game where they were down by that much to a bad team. Like in terms of their adversity period, the first month and a half of the season when they were struggling to find out who they were. I don't think they ever were down by more than 10 to a bad team ever at any point last year, at least as far as I can remember. Buffalo has been down or almost down to the Saints this year, They've lost to Drake May and the Patriots, like we said, and now they've got for most of that game because the Falcons took their foot off the gas, in the second half. So basically, the Falcons murdered them today. Like that's just not like that's concerning for a team that's supposed to be Super Bowl caliber. That listen, they could turn it around, but the Super Bowl caliber team does not look like that against the Falcons. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially not after what they did against, or rather, didn't do against the Saints and didn't do against the Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shane, what are your thoughts on where Buffalo's at currently, and how do you feel about all the teams with 5 or 4 wins at this point?
Yeah, I mean, let me just look at it right now, actually, just so that I know. I mean, I think there's. I think Brandon said it. There's not a team this year, and this is the case most years, but it's especially apparent so far. It's like there's not a team that is where it's like there's not something that's extremely concerning. Like every team has, even the best teams, there's like a big issue of some sort, and depending on who they play any given week, that issue can be exploited. I mean, right now, just looking at the 4 or 5 win teams, you got Indy. I mean, they get in a lot of really close games. Can't really seem to, blow anybody out or take control of a game, so to speak. Buffalo, we've already talked about them. Denver, I mean, they just look confused, to put it mildly. Lions, we talked about them. Jags, we touched on them on last week after the Monday night win.
Yeah.
That seems a little up and down. Chargers, Rams, I think are both talented, but there's some health concerns with the two of them. Same with the Niners. Eagles, I mean, the coaching, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is terrible. Steelers, I mean, they look good, but it's a pretty old team, so I'm like, is there going to be longevity there? I mean, so far, I think, I can't believe I'm going to say what I'm about to say.
Ooh.
I think so far the 4 teams that have impressed me the most through 6 weeks are Seattle, New England, Pittsburgh, and Tampa.
Let's go.
Yeah. And even that doesn't feel that great.
Yeah, even that doesn't feel great.
No. And every one of those 4, I'm like,
And we said a couple of days ago or whatever, or what was it, a couple of days ago, maybe it might have even been last week, and what I'm going to hammer home again this week, because you brought up the Colts pretty much first on that list of like teams, whatever. But the Colts,
yeah,
I guarantee if you do to them what teams are doing to Saquon Barkley and you stack the box against Jonathan Taylor, that team will lose. Because every game, the one loss that the Colts had, Jonathan Taylor did nothing in that game. They made Daniel Jones have to throw the ball. And my concern with Indy is defense is okay, not great. And then if you stop Jonathan Taylor, you win. Pretty much. That's kind of how I look at it.
And when I look at, who knows what potential playoff teams they'll go up against, that's exactly what they're going to do in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, because that offense runs right through JT.
Yeah, well, and they haven't exactly played any amazing opponents either.
Yep. To be fair, they can't help that they're in the AFC South.
That is very true.
True, but
the South with Jacksonville, that's I guess just Jacksonville at this point, but at least it's more competitive than we thought it was going to be.
Also got kind of a gimpy Houston team, and then Tennessee
Is
literally-
dead.
It's Tennessee.
just calling them what they are just tells you everything you need to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. The league is just so strange right now. I mean, if you'd told me after 6 weeks that I would look at those 4 teams as the best team in the league, I would have laughed in your face and told you were smoking crack or something. I mean, that's, yeah. So,
Justifiably, what in the world was that noise?
what?
I don't know.
swear I heard something.
I have no idea.
But yeah, I mean, because the thing with Indy and their offense, it's like, yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones obviously looks a lot better this year than he has in years past. But it's not like with his career resurgence, we'll call it. It's not like Darnold or like Baker or whoever. You could even throw Geno in there, which obviously he's fallen off a cliff now, but for a couple of years he was looking pretty good. It's like
I still can't believe Geno has 10 picks through 6 weeks. Is it 10? It's 10.
Yeah. But the thing with those guys is they had, especially like Baker and Darnold, they had something too that that it factor, whatever it may be. For Baker, I think it's his, between the ears and just his ability to, I don't even know how to describe it. Just like, I think his drive and just
His energy.
Yeah, and just that he will not quit on any play.
You will like this, Shane. Scoop said this yesterday, and it perfectly described Baker Mayfield. He's like, if there was a vibes rating in Madden, Baker Mayfield would have like 99.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Darnold, he's always had a big arm. He's been very athletic. It's just he wasn't great between the ears, but now he's pretty good there. After spending some time with Shanahan and then Kevin O'Connell, now Clint Kubiak, good guys to learn from. But Daniel Jones, he's not. He's still. It's like I never loved his arm. I always thought he was kind of an idiot with the ball in his hands. And, I was like, okay, he's athletic, sure, but that's kind of all I like from him. So it's not like he just needed one little thing to tweak. It's like, no, he still has issues. So I think Steichen is just making the best of Daniel Jones, which is, it's pretty good, but
What?
I miss that man dearly every day.
Panyal Donez.
Which is pretty good.
Although, to be fair, I miss Kellen Moore more. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, so that's I just think, in other words, it's not Daniel Jones. I think can play well for Indy if the defense is doing well. They have a good run game going. But if he has to be the guy to step up and lead the team, I don't know if I trust him. I trust some of those other guys.
Yeah, I was there through 3. I was there through 3 weeks, but obviously it's only 3 weeks. Through 6, I'm on your side here, Shane. Quick thing on Atlanta. So we've had essentially a season of tape on Michael Penix Jr. Shane, I'm not that
9 games.
9 games. Shane, I'm losing. I'm losing confidence. Let's just say in Penix, even with the win. I'm not feeling good.
What did Brandon say? I never had it.
I never had it.
Never had it.
Brandon never had it to begin with.
And the thing is, I I had confidence in Penix going into the draft, but who I don't have confidence in is Atlanta.
Yeah,
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris and their just the offensive staff in general. I don't like it. I think you put Penix somewhere else, I think he looks a lot better.
that's what I was going to say after you were finished.
Because we know the natural talent that guy has. I'm obviously I'm a little biased as a Washington fan, but I've seen very few people at the college level throw as good of a deep ball as him. Just the touch that he had on it, the accuracy, it was perfect. He's very fast. People don't realize that. Dude's really quick, very agile. He has all the tools.
May I also say that I thought it was really funny that Raheem Morris in Atlanta went back and watched the Washington tape and was like, let's incorporate some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem with that is? He was doing that in the Pac-12.
Right.
And we know what the Pac-12 was defensively. It was complete garbage.
Nothing.
So
it was
like,
here's the thing. That was the Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb type offense is a pistol spread. It works great in college or in high school. We run a lot of pistol spread because defenses are. It's not just that they aren't good or they're not fast or whatever, but they're just dumber. So, so you can because the idea of a spread offense is to literally spread the defense all over the field. So that way you can manipulate at one certain area to get open or make a play, right?
That should be our clip. Defenses are dumb. Here you go.
Yeah,
I love that.
But the problem is in the NFL, not only the defensive coordinators better, but defensive players themselves are a lot smarter. And not only are they smarter, but they're quicker. They're stronger. So the spread doesn't work as well because they see right through it. So yeah, I mean that's why like Ryan Grubb in Seattle didn't work out too well. And the other thing that the spread has going for it in the high school and college game is the hash marks being wider apart. It's a big benefit. It might not seem like it, but it is. Yeah, that's where was I going with all this? Oh yeah,
just Penix in general was my beginning question because I'm losing so much confidence.
And
I don't like how he throws the ball. I'm struggling with how he's throwing the ball, Shane. I think is the point.
I see what you mean.
I don't know how to explain it further, but
I can explain it for you. It's because he's a lefty.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I was just going to say it.
I've seen videos of him with it reversed so that it looks like he's a righty, and it's a beautiful ball. It's just because he throws lefty, it looks weird because we're not used to seeing that. But yeah, no. He does. I think that's why for me, it's not so much that I'm losing faith in him. It's just that I think Atlanta's offensive staff is failing him.
We've also said in years past how bad this Atlanta staff is top to bottom anyway. It's not just offensively.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's the the first red flag for us should have been when Raheem Morris, essentially a first-time head coach, was hired and said, we're going to have such a big staff because all our guys are going to get promoted to other jobs. Dude,
I don't even remember
great
that.
idea.
you're not Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan. Shut up.
Yeah.
Um,
There is no coaching tree under Raheem Morris. Let's stop.
you need to prove something first, and then you can say that. So anyways, I don't think that staff offensively has any clue what they're doing. And that's why Penix is not looking great. So there you go.
I would not be surprised if we have the same conversation in 4 weeks and Kirk Cousins might be starting. That's how scared
I'm not
I am.
going that far. No.
And that's fair. That's fair. I'm just
Just
worried.
because the upside and the age with Cousins or with Penix is just
I mean,
Way more
we knew Penix was doomed when they drafted him after throwing an absolute generational bag at Kirk Cousins. Like, come on, man. That
great
was
idea.
Yeah, that
Can
was
you
never.
believe? Can you believe he's getting like what 40, 50 million to just sit on the bench this year?
I couldn't believe it if it weren't in Atlanta.
Him and Deshaun Watson, professional bag stealers, professional bank robbers.
But Brandon, continue on how you're feeling about Penix in Atlanta right now. Again, even with the win, I'm not positive on Atlanta.
Like I never saw what people did. Well, I mean, Shane saw it firsthand, so I trust his opinion more. But I never saw it with Penix like in college. I just never had a high opinion of him. I thought there was quarterbacks in that draft class that were better by a good bit.
I agree.
Yeah, but
there were a lot of good ones in that draft.
Yeah, like I just think about it and I go, because they also compared him saying like, oh, the last time that the Falcons had a lefty quarterback with the first name of Michael, it's like
Michael
okay,
Vick.
Michael Vick, like I
With
get it.
and with a last name that's one letter off from male
Yeah.
genitalia.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Did they actually say that on the ESPN broadcast when he got drafted? I don't remember.
No.
No, but that's how everybody else. We the memes.
That's what we said on our show.
Yeah, it's the memes. But
We got to keep Penix away from dogs, essentially.
yeah,
I think he has a dog.
yeah. I mean, well,
Did everyone miss the joke? Okay.
yeah.
I got it. I was just saying, I think he actually has a dog.
Nothing is as tone deaf and distasteful as Kyler Murray with a Michael Vick Virginia Tech jersey posing with his dog. Did you see that
Oh
picture?
my god!
You
Did you see that scoop? That was amazing. It was so bad.
No, I did not.
Yeah, Google it.
Google it. It's
All right,
amazing.
one second.
But
Oh my god! Did you guys see the memes about Kyler Murray playing bad when Battlefield 6 came out the other day? It's switching the Battlefield.
like, Kyler Murray would make so much money being an esports gamer than he would.
He streams Call of Duty.
He should just do that. He'd make a lot of money. People would watch it because it's Kyler Murray, so people would watch it. It's not like he'd go broke. He would save himself from CTE too. Which is nice.
He should go play baseball.
And then
The Athletics still have his rights.
But wasn't that the read on him when he came out of college? Was that he actually was a better baseball player than he was a football player?
Yeah,
I thought
he was
so.
in the first round. By the A's, yeah.
And the fact that your body takes less of a beating being a baseball player than it does usually being than being a football player. So whatever. It's besides the point. But with Atlanta Falcons, man.
Atlanta Falcons.
With Penix, I just don't. I don't know what it is. It feels like it feels like at some points through these kind of these. I mean, he's only started for roughly half a season combined, but it just feels like it's one good game and then two really bad games and then one okay game and then a bad game. And I'm like, well, you need consistency at some point. Like, because it's like, yeah, he's only started 9 games, but we got to remember that he also sat for a lot of those games in the first season and learned. So by year 2 and being his first year as a starter, it should be getting better, and it's been about the same. It hasn't actually gotten better. And that's, part of that, I think, is the Atlanta staff. I think there's just a bunch of morons in Atlanta. But at the same time, I think part of it's just him. I don't think he's that good. I think he's good enough to be like a starter in this league, to win games and whatnot. But I don't think he's ever going to be the reason you win a game. I think he almost has to be like a point guard type quarterback. He can't be like a gunslinger. He can't even be what Michael Vick was with all that speed and that cannon for it's not the same thing. So, he doesn't have the speed that listen, he can take off. He doesn't have the speed Michael Vick did. He doesn't Michael Vick could also sling the ball sidearm 3/4 over Michael Vick had different arm angles. He doesn't. It's really tough because it almost feels like he doesn't feel like he has an identity as a quarterback to me. Josh Allen, gunslinger, Matt Stafford, gunslinger, Jalen Hurts, dual threat, Lamar Jackson, dual threat, Joe Burrow, strong arm, and mobile when he needs to be, but strong arm quarterback, and accurate. Jared Goff, somewhat of a game manager, but also, but that's not a bad thing for what he needs to do. It was a lot of these quarterbacks have an identity. Michael Penix does not have one. And that's a problem to me. It's like there's games where I'm watching, I'm looking at him, I'm like, what kind of quarterback just is he? What mold does he fit into? Yeah, it doesn't, but it's like it feels like no matter what mold he fits in. So I think it's it's a little bit of him and it's a little bit of the team he's on. I feel like it's both. There's got to be somebody that needs to come in to work with him, and he just should not be subject to the Atlanta Falcons' failure either. So, I don't know what's going to happen with him. He's still young, on the younger side, but also remember, he got drafted, late. Him and Bo Nix are the same age as us. They're 25. So it's not like they're coming into
wild.
So it's not like they're coming into the league at 21, 22, and they're learning. They're already in their mid 20s. By the time guys like that figure it out, they're going to be damn near 30. So it's and then you how much of a career do you have left at that point? For most quarterbacks, it's another 5-6 years. So so he needs to just. Either Atlanta just needs to just overhaul their coaching staff somehow, or he needs to find a place like Shane's saying where they can use him and develop him, because it's I don't think his ceiling is high, but I think it's higher than this right now. But at the same time, I don't think he's special. So it's I'm kind of caught in the middle. I have mixed feelings on Penix.
Yeah, Scoop, finish us up with Penix in Atlanta.
Excuse me, sorry. So Brendan knows this. I'm sure I've done it on here, but I do know I've done it on WTS, where when I talk about players, particularly quarterbacks, a lot of the prism through which I look at guys also is heavily colored, I guess you'd say, by the circumstances into which they're drafted. So, and again, as I'll say, Shane knows way more about X's and O's than I do. Shane knows way more about quarterback play than I do. He knows way more about Washington than I do. So I will easily, say that his opinion is so much more influenced, or so much more informed than mine when it comes to stuff like this. But that being, from my vantage point, I think that Kirk Cousins is underrated to begin with. And I think that Rob, were you just wincing at what I said?
No.
Okay.
I
couldn't tell what that was.
slightly, but I get it. I get where you're going, I guess, is the way.
Yeah.
I would say to that.
So my point being, I think that it was an interesting decision to handle that the way that they did to begin with.
That way of viewing it, I agree with, because it was not good.
Yeah. especially when you're trying to plant your flag as a new regime in Atlanta. Bold strategy, Cotton, to quote Dodgeball. But so looking back from that, sorry, Shane, you're going to have a lot of us to take out from me when it comes to this, but just looking at everything when it comes to the situation that he's in, I don't think that I know as much about what Penix is as a quarterback or what he can be as a quarterback from what he's been put in and the circumstances he's been in. He also had the unfortunate, let me rephrase that. He also had the misfortune, rather, of going into an NFC South that not only had a resurgent Tampa Bay team, but also has what seems to be a pesky, by Shane, Carolina team as well. Don't know. I didn't take him. But
I didn't take him.
But
there we are.
Welcome
Where
back,
did you
Carter.
go?
I don't know what happened. Anyways, continue.
Continue.
Anyway, so I don't have a ton more to add on top of that, but basically I'm just saying that if we were getting this version of Penix in an organization that I thought gave him more of a fighting chance, then I would be more comfortable reflecting unfavorably on him. And it was brought up a little while ago about the ages and whatnot. I will say that's less of a factor for me because now more than I think at any point in my life, we're seeing guys come through on second, third, or hell, even fourth wins with different teams in their late 20s or hell, even into their 30s, and kind of, planting their flag elsewhere. So I'm not sure that I'm as concerned about his age in particular right now as I, may have been before this new era of sort of second wins of quarterbacks, came through. But it's a mind, honestly, to just think of, 10 years ago. I mean, the Falcons, if there was anything that growing up that we could rely on the Falcons for, it was offense. It was, it wasn't just, Ryan and Jones, but it was Devontae Freeman. It was for Gonzalez, but also some of the number 2 and 3 receivers. It was Ridley for a period of time. It was all these different guys, and then just to see them not be able to put anything together on offense. Not to mention, and I know I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, with 2 guys out of college who we were told were supposed to be transformational offensive pieces at their positions in Robinson and Pitts. So you have all these guys that we're told are supposed to be transformational offense. If none of them are working together and nothing is coinciding, that to me, I'm not looking at Penix and Pitts and Bijan as individuals. I'm looking at, okay, who's up there trying to make it all work and failing to do so? Because I'm sorry, one guy is one thing. But if your entire offense is supposed to be solid individuals and none of them are coming together, I'm sorry. You know what they say about SHIT? It runs downhill.
Yeah, I mean, the only guy who's really shown that is Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan's been good. Yeah.
That's the only one. Scoop, how do you... sorry, Shane, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's kind of ironic because the perfect place, or let me rephrase this. I think the best quarterback of the rookies in the class from Penix's year, I think the one that would work best of all of them in Atlanta who was available is J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And
I think that's quite possible.
And on the flip side, I think the perfect place in the NFL right now for Michael Penix is Minnesota.
Yeah.
He would be a dog there, no pun intended.
Jesus Christ.
No, Huskies.
Sure.
That wasn't a Michael Vick reference.
Yeah.
But no,
that's a shame because you really killed that one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, good night, everybody. No.
Jesus.
But for real though, like he considering
Scoop's joking off that one. You made the joke.
considering what Minnesota does schematically, and just considering the pieces they have, that would be like University of Washington 2.0. But anyways, that's not what happened on draft night. Instead, they decided to be idiots. So yeah. What were you gonna say, Robert?
No, Scoop, how do you feel about where Kirk Cousins is at currently? Because I mean, with the contract, it's unlikely that he'll get traded, but it is fair to assume that by the Week 9 trade deadline, someone's going to make some kind of move for him.
Here's the question that I have. Now, again, like you said, now here's the thing. If they hadn't been such in a rush to go to Dort, I could have seen the Giants making a play for him. Now, and the reason I say the Giants is because I look around the league. Cincinnati was never paying for that type of contract. They
can't afford it anyway. But yeah,
well, I mean, they can afford it. Mike Brown is just a cheap tweep. But again, look, I look around the league. Like, what quarterback needy team is going to take that on? Cleveland. I think they're paying every quarterback in the league already.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets, if they didn't start 0-6, if they started more like 2-3 or 3-2, I could have seen that make sense. I don't see you suddenly taking that on for a quarterback after starting 0-6. Like, I don't know.
I will say that it is very clear for how dumb it is at this point, considering what happened in London. It is very clear that
Justin Fields,
that Aaron Glenn, because he basically said, "Are you stupid for asking the question of are you benching Justin Fields?" Which, I mean, it's a fair question. It's pretty likely that he'll be the starting guy by the end of the year.
I'll add one caveat to that, though. It's pretty PR 101 when it comes to sports. You don't, even if you're trying to get a player, I see Aaron Boone do this a lot. Even if you're trying to get a player, you don't talk as if you're trying to get a player until he's actually in the door. So just because he's saying we're not benching him, yes, with your current roster, you might not be benching him. But
in 3 weeks when you have the deadline, who knows?
3 weeks when you have the deadline. I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell's going on with me right now. But just with where they're at, I still think that they're going to be active on the quarterback market. I just think going for that contract in particular, when you've already started 0-6, to me just wouldn't make a lot of sense. But then again, it's the Jets, so maybe that's a perfect fit. Who knows? Maybe a team, I could see a team maybe like, we talked about Geno Smith for a while. Maybe the Raiders, if that's a team, they're a team. Guys, I'm sorry.
You're good. No, but maybe the Raiders. I think that's maybe the most interesting spot, I would say. Maybe.
I feel like they should have signed him last offseason. In hindsight.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Raiders. I'm trying to think what other teams would go for him. I have no idea. And then keep in mind that the market. You also have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson just sitting there waiting to be traded as well.
Jameis Winston's just rotting for no reason as a QB3 on the Giants. Which
makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense to me. I'm like, he can still be a starter type quarterback in this league. So he is better than than what the Raiders have. I think he's better. He could be a good.
Yeah.
Or, there's a couple of teams I think I would love to see James on where he could actually start. I think he could. Even the previous teams that had him could use him right now. The Saints could. The Browns could, at least as a veteran, at least as a QB2 behind Dylan Gabriel.
Oh my God, I forgot about New Orleans. New Orleans has to be active in that market. Maybe probably not Kirk, but definitely Winston. Yeah.
Jameis Winston's never had a good. If you think about it this way too, he's never had a good offensive coordinator in this league, or just any good offensive like coaching. You put him in a Kellen Moore offense. That could do wonders.
with 12 picks, but yeah.
I mean, it could, yeah, but still, I like compared to what they have now, like they're barely like they're still playing competitive football the last couple weeks with what they have. It's not like it's the worst thing in the world, but Jameis Winston's an upgrade over what they have there. They have a bunch of bums there. They have a broomstick at quarterback. Like it's like come on, man! You can't tell me Jameis Winston won't be better than what they have. Jesus.
Yeah. Scooper, are you okay? Are you good?
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what was going on.
It's okay. It's okay.
Did
Totally
you choke
fine.
on your own spit?
He's got the Idris Elba hot wings thing going on. Where it's
once you said that dog joke, your body just combusted for 2 minutes. I'm so confused on what happened.
It wasn't even that. Which doesn't make sense because what I'm drinking also shouldn't have done that. But
what are you drinking?
It's one of those like nutritional iced tea type things.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hydration drink. It's a hydration drink. I'm not drinking caffeine at 12:30 in the morning.
Good.
But like as I was talking, the Raiders are really the only team that I can really make a significant sense in my mind. And like, I mean, here's the thing. I don't see how it would happen, but the one team that keeps coming back to my mind, and I have to double check what their record is right now, actually. But as I was trying to think through, like I literally was going through all the teams in my head.
And by the way, any of these teams we say for Kirk Cousins also applies for Winston, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because the contract's easier.
Well, so here's my thing. I'm thinking offensive coach who could, who I'm presume would, all that. We've got a team that is still competitive right now. They're 3-2. A team that he openly said if it weren't for them signing Penix or drafting Penix, he might have stayed there. Does he go back to Minnesota?
They're too gun ho on McCarthy. They want to play out the year.
That's the thing holding them back.
They want to play out the year.
Yeah,
plus it would be a massive omission of guilt to bring back Kirk Cousins or even bring in Jameis.
But here's the thing, just admitting. I feel like for this day and age, for a lot of these front offices, I don't know. It seems like there's like more willingness to swallow your pride and just move on from things. Like it doesn't.
Not
seem
after
like,
9 weeks. Not after 9 weeks when you only see him for a couple weeks. Not after 9 weeks.
Niners only needed a week and a half.
Yeah,
I said up. See you later.
That's true.
Yeah, I know they want to see McCarthy, but they wanted to see McCarthy last year and they couldn't, and now he's hurt again. You want to see McCarthy, but does McCarthy even exist?
Well, again, we have to see him come back. I mean, they also, if they really don't like McCarthy, they're going to keep Carson Wentz and start him over bringing in another quarterback. For better.
Good luck with that, you poor bastards.
Okay, wait, Scoop. What's your hatred of Carson Wentz?
We talked
I'm
about
very
this in the
confused by
chat.
this.
Sorry?
We talked about this in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't think you've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, well, I don't want to take this down a whole like rabbit hole or whatever, but basically, that whole 2020 dumpster fire season that ended up with the firing of Doug Peterson because he basically was told because he wanted to promote Press Taylor and he basically was told who he was going to have on his staff and he was like no, so they're like all right, you're gone. So they went, I think it was 4-11-1 that year, but basically what happened is he requested a trade, particularly to the Colts. I think there was one other team that he was interested in, but it was mostly to the Colts because he had gotten benched because he had played terribly. His terrible play was not the only reason that they were so bad. But he got benched, and then as soon as they got benched, most of the reputable, not just doing this for radio clicks type people in Philadelphia basically were saying that Wentz has really worn on people in the locker room, that things were pretty much being done to appease him, and that it had created alienation in the locker room, like
Oh
one thing or another.
yeah, I do remember that.
This is why I've said repeatedly, if he comes back the next year and he goes 0-16, but he's a team, like he's going out there for his team and playing his tail off, and the guys are rallying around him, then I welcome him back with open arms. What I don't like is a quarterback who quit on this team, and I'm sorry, that sours me. I'll forever be grateful for 2017, but I just can't deal with that. I hate.
That's fair. I think that's fair for any quarterback. All right, Scoop, I'll have you finish up your day with us talking about, for post credit scene, your ridiculous day.
Yeah,
because you had a day for the ages today.
Yeah, so again, I won't go and I don't want to take forever on this because I know I tend to go down rabbit holes and go down meandering pathways. But basically, I got back on Friday to my apartment and my phone wasn't working. I couldn't figure out why. It had the little indicator for those who don't have an Android. They do give little indicators if there's water damage in your charging port, and that thing was on. Couldn't figure out why. I bought a crap load of paper clips to try and get to the SIM card, excuse me. All the other stuff. I was basically playing Operation Sam on this thing all evening, trying to figure out what was going on. And then basically I found out by 11 o'clock that there was nothing that I was going to do to revive it. Asurion wasn't going to be accessible till the next day, which is the insurance company. So I was dealing with insurance, brand, and carrier for that basically 12-hour period. Today, I get the replacement. Everything's all set up. I call them, blah, blah, blah. The problem is that for those of y'all who know what two-factor authentication is, you have to have, your typically your phone or something similar in order for you to be able to get back into your accounts when you've logged out. Obviously, when it comes to my phone, I'm not going to name the specific apps, but when it comes to getting a new phone, certain apps that allow you to access personal information or personal matters need to contact you. The problem is that when they try to contact you, sometimes they'll ask you to use or to verify a piece of information that for something that you haven't had in several years. So I'm trying to use a piece of banking information that hasn't been relevant in several years, and I'm trying to guess what this thing is, and it's not, So basically, I had no access to. And my laptop hard drive looked like it had crashed in the middle of it. So for a period of time today, I had no access to money, phone, or laptop. Is the extent of that all? And I spent my entire afternoon pretty much just trying to figure out what to do from one to the other, while not having others of those things to be able to help me get the others back.
Oh, that is the worst. My God.
It felt like I ran a 5K today, and I didn't even leave my office chair.
Oh my God. All right. And with that, Scoop will bid you adieu. We'll get your thoughts on the movie on Thursday. But thanks for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me on, fellas. And looking forward to seeing y'all on Thursday. Y'all have a great week. And congrats one more time to the Mariners fans in here for going up 2-0 in the American League Championship Series. It's a great day to juxtapose that with the 5,000th consecutive day that none of the big four teams out of New York have won a championship. So the fact that Seattle's doing better than New York right now is absolutely insane to me. And
also the Dodgers almost lost as well, but they did win, but they almost crapped the bed against Milwaukee in the 9th inning.
Unfortunately, the Dodgers can play at 50% and still win. Every other team can play at 100% and still not beat the Dodgers.
They've got that black magic that the Chiefs had for so many years. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, and this is the last thing I'll say before I hop off, but I think that, and I saw a post about this earlier, Brewers-Dodgers, the outcome of this NLCS could be very relevant to whether or not there's a lockout and how much baseball we have in 2027. Because I think that there's
my God, yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think that who ends up in this World Series, if Brewers-Mariners is the World Series, I hope that this talk of cap, floor, all that stuff is at least drastically quieted down. If it's Dodgers-Toronto, that stuff's going to rocket up to the place where you'd be able to hear it over Led Zeppelin at a concert. Good night.
That's a good way to end. I'm not going to lie. All right,
I
and
love that.
now we are just the three of us doing Wind River, a great movie directed and written by Taylor Sheridan. Very excited to talk about this. Shane, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a more unique modern film. It's kind of the last of the three of Sheridan's like kind of neo-Western spiritual trilogy, so to speak. And I think it's. I mean, I'll just say it right off the bat. I feel like it's the worst of the three. That being said, I do still really like it. I think it's a very kind of relevant topic on something that happens a lot that we don't really hear about in the media or just whatever. And there's many reasons for that, but basically, if you're listening and you don't know what the premise is of the movie Wind River, there's a brutal murder and other things that happen on a Native American reservation in Wyoming, and so a single FBI agent is sent in to investigate and try and help. But it's like, why is there not more help for something like this? That's one of the biggest kind of themes of the movie. But I mean, first of all, I think the performances are really convincing. It shows some of Jeremy Renner's range. And
Same with Elizabeth Olsen. That's part of why I love this movie.
Yeah, and and they shot in Wyoming on the Wind River reservation, and in the cold and whatever, and you can feel it. It's you can see the cold on them and just how intense it is. It's sort of like The Revenant. I know, Robert, you've seen that. I don't know if you have, Brandon, but
Yeah, I have.
yeah, so it's the same kind of feeling. Like you watch it and you just feel cold. It's like, ugh.
I did feel I did like feel my blood kind of circling a little slower in this kind of movie, right? You had that kind of feel of like, yeah.
It's the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's, I think that also goes to the cinematography is I mean, it's visually stunning. It's, I think it really captures kind of the just like isolation of this place, and but also just the scenery. It really adds to the story. And it's kind of it's pretty much like a murder mystery. And even if it's somewhat predictable, it still is engaging. And it, it's based on a true story. I mean, who knows? Of course, you always have to take that with a grain of salt, because it's like, okay, what was real and was kind of a creative liberty.
Yeah, it says inspired by true events at the beginning for that reason as well.
Yeah, which is same thing for Hurt Locker. Like, it was inspired by true events, and those true events being just what a journalist noticed while he was there. Like,
But that's like it's like when you have like based on a true story, that's more like, those are the movies where it's like when it's based on a true story, those are the ones that try to follow as closely to what happened as possible.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
That's like
When
inspired
you're
by
doing
true
it,
events.
inspired is more liberty based. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
but I mean, I wrote a based on a true story script one time, about when my dad survived a wildfire, um, and a bunch of other things that went into it. And that was based on a true story, supposed to be 100% accurate. It was probably 80% accurate, you know, and even in that 80%, it was like I wasn't there while this was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, he just told me when he came home, like, what happened. And so I had to kind of like make up the dialogue and fit it into that situation, whatever. So I mean, it's accurate, but it's not like exactly what happened, you know? And that's usually how it goes. And so I think for the movie, it's, you know, inspired by true events. It's just like this general sort of thing where there's, you know, because there are on native reservations, there is a big problem with, I mean, you can look it up with domestic abuse, substance abuse, and, you know, killings and whatever else. But it doesn't really get talked about. And there's not a lot of federal aid that goes into that. So I think it's more or less just a kind of a amalgamation of all those things and examining it. And yeah, and you know, I think that's very powerful to look at that. And I think really the only, I guess, issue that I have is you know, it's like, and it's not even an issue. It's just I understand why they went in this direction for the movie, but it's like I wish there was more of a focus on the actual natives and not,
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
and not just focusing on Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen the whole time. I get why the story is that way because they're the investigators investigating this thing. I get it, right? Um, but you know, I feel like I feel like this is a film that would probably have even greater impact if it focused more on them, and if it was made by a writer director who is Native American, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nothing against Taylor Sheridan. I mean, I think he's a very creative, you know, good Hollywood guy, all that, um, but there's, you know, I mean, there's a difference in culture between people in America, you know, with well, people in the world, but especially here in our own country. I mean, I've one of my cousins belongs to the reservation near us, Robert,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've been there. I've been there a couple of times with him, and it's, I mean, it's just it's a totally different way of life because it's a different culture. It's, you know, it's a lot more traditional, a lot more family oriented, and you know, it's, I kind of get it, but like at the end of the day,
It's
I'm
not the
very much
same.
I'm very much an outsider looking in, you know. Um, so I guess that's like my one issue with it, um, but otherwise, I think it's I think it's a very intriguing kind of mystery story with a unique setting, um, and if nothing else, it does at least kind of get people to think about what's going on here. um, and yeah, overall, I'd give it an A minus probably. Um, So
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and also a movie like this, it's also surprising that we do get a slight like plot twist at the end, that finding out that the actual like, well, quote unquote killer is not her boyfriend. It's like her boyfriend's like living mates, whatever it is,
Yeah, workmates.
coworkers.
Yeah,
Um, it's like there's like a slight twist because they spent like a lot of the movie looking for him specifically, and it's not him. Um, and but I think this movie, so like that was a cool thing. I liked. There was a little bit of a twist at the end, but like this movie for me, I understand like the vibe of it. Like it's not gonna be like a shoot 'em up, bang bang kind of thing. So it's not gonna be something where it's like, it does have action at the end though, but it's not gonna be one of those things.
When we did get the action, it was very surprising though, because it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like there was no build up to it. Like it's just like all of a sudden it was just out of nowhere, just boom. Okay, now everybody's shooting each other. It's like, oh, okay. But like this movie, like you really have, like we talk about how like movies being slow, like the first half, like not even just the first like third of this movie, the first half of this movie is like incredibly slow. Like like that's one of my like issues with it, is I don't mind slow movies if they're slow for like the first like third whatever, but this one was slow for like the first half. I was like, are we gonna get anything out of this anytime soon, or are we just gonna sit here and like like it didn't rush. The second half it did pick up, and then the pacing was pretty much even. But just that first half to me just felt like we're spending a lot of time here just not knowing anything. Like feels like we're just sitting around here waiting for something to happen, and nothing ever does. So it's like I just wonder, maybe that could have been done a little bit better. But I think when it comes to movies like this, and because like Shane said, it's unique. No one knows about this kind of stuff. Like we hear about it in school and whatnot. We hear about it in maybe in like a documentary or whatever it is. There's not actually like big movies with big name actors that are about this. But I'm kind of like saying along the same lines of Shane, where I'm like, I look at it and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, this movie's not really about the Native Americans like it should be. Like, it's like this feels like this is like it's trying to do the right thing and tell an important story, but it's doing it through the lens of someone that doesn't understand it enough.
In the full scope, yeah.
Yeah, like it's doing it through the lens of like, and it might, it might piss people off if you think deeply about it, but it's like, but at the same time, it's like this is like it's told through the lens of like, oh yeah, the white man will save the day for the Native Americans. So like that's kind of a little bit like awkward to me. It's like given the history between the U.S. and Native Americans, and
that's just such an overused trope in particularly Western movies,
Yeah. Like it's like especially for someone like Taylor Sheridan, like if you're gonna actually tell him a story like this, like it should have been through a different lens for both those reasons. Like not just because it would have been a better story if you told it, by actually understanding what you were talking about, but also like, shifting it away from like the whole kind of like, because I kind of got that feeling as we got through like really deep into like probably about 3/4 of the way into the movie. I'm like, this feels like another white man saves the day kind of thing, and I was like, oh, that could have been told a little bit better, but at the same time, I mean, it's also an important movie given what today is, given the importance of today. For it being the controversy that surrounds Columbus Day. But
oh yeah,
but
wait, today was Columbus Day?
Yes. Did you not know that?
No, I knew. I didn't even know it was Canadian Thanksgiving until the guys were eating turkey on the Mariners broadcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you see that? It was crazy. He just started eating turkey in like the 6th inning.
I mean, it's definitely, it's important to kind of think about just, and like, Shane, did you plan that for us to do this kind of movie on Columbus Day?
No. I planned, this was one that was like, I didn't have another place to put it, so I just put it here.
Oh, and it was spot on.
Um,
Yeah, honestly.
Also, another thing too is how I try to do like the Sunday night theme.
Yeah.
Well, the Sunday night team last night was the Chiefs.
Yeah. and history given the Washington team that played tonight.
Yes.
Didn't notice all that. So, anyways, this is a happy accident.
Don't even notice your own genius. Wow.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, like with this movie, like I love, like I'll watch anything that Jeremy Renner does, but I think that, but to me, this movie really showcases how good of an actor he is. Like, this is a movie where it's like you don't look at him as like because he does some action movies, he does some a lot of movies he does. It's like very kind of like pro U.S. like the Hurt Locker being military or whatever, something to that effect. Like that's kind of what he does. But with this one, with how a lot slower it is compared to all his other movies, it's like this kind of shows you that he can do more than just be kind of like a typical either action guy or like just tough strong guy. But I just don't like it's weird to me when I watch a movie like this because it's not a movie that has replay value. Definitely not like this. It's just it's a unique kind of niche thing where it's a good movie. I think for what it is, it's just not a movie that's like it's not a movie that's going to be remembered a lot just because it's not a I talk about this with other movies we've done in the past, but it's not a movie you're going to go back to and be like, yep, I have to watch it again. It's a good movie. It's like no, it's a movie about an important topic. It's not, but it's not a movie. Obviously, like it's what I'm saying. Like, so it's definitely got a little bit of that like it gives you that uneasy feeling. It kind of is an uncomfortable movie for multiple reasons, but it's definitely something that I mean, for people, just not even just for the Native American people, but for anybody that's they always say like a parent's worst fear is losing their child, and that happens to quite literally the two fathers in this movie to Jeremy Renner's character of Corey and Martin who was the two daughters were best friends. So it is something that does happen that doesn't get talked about on those reservations about like not just with young girls going through that horrible stuff, but families being torn apart, like Shane saying, domestic violence, just violence just against each other on the reservation, like and even in the movie they explain it. They're like life's different here, like life is
it's survival of the fittest kind of thing.
It's quite literally like dog eat dog here. Like it's like where you're not even living. You are literally just surviving, and it is a hard way of life. But it's just it's hard. So it's a hard watch. Put it that way, and it's like I thought it was a good movie. That's why I said it was I said in the chat like, wow, that's a hell of a movie. Like I thought it was really powerful. That was really cool. Like I liked it a lot. It's just it's not going to be a movie I come back to just because, like I said, the replay value of it is not high. But like as a movie, to me, it's like a 7. As a movie about the topic it talks about, it's a 9. So like, if I'm going to go somewhere in the middle, I'm not going to say 8, just because it's so niche that I'll say 7.5 for mine.
Yeah, I was thinking 8 initially. I'll stick at a 7. I think why it's so slow in the first half is kind of for you to realize the emotions that the two fathers are going through. Because they do spend like a ton of time exploring that. And then obviously the mother, like Martin's wife, that was kind of a shock.
Yeah.
Kind of add there. That was like, I was like, what the hell? But in a good way for the movie, but also just you understand why, and it's awful. But yeah, I think that's part of why it's so slow at the beginning. Also, it is a cinematography movie, right? It's about the landscape. It's about the snow and the world around. So that adds a lot of value. I thought the score actually, even though it does repeat and it does have a lot of like dialogue involved, I thought it actually worked extremely well. I thought it added a lot of value to the tension of the film. So that also really stuck with me. And then again, as I always do when we have MCU actors in films, 2 of them in this case, this is also why I was like thinking, oh my God, this is why Sarah Halley Finn's like really good at her job in terms of casting these characters in those roles for the MCU. But also again, like they're just so typecast to those roles. That's all that people know, like Renner and Olsen from in most cases. And you realize like, yeah, no, that is I just hate that in general. But that is a really wrong statement for this movie. And then, of course, Hurt Locker as well gets put into this mix. So, no, they were phenomenal. The acting is great in this. But, yeah, for me, it just sticks out of 7. It's a really powerful movie. It's really emotional. It was really tough. Again, as Brandon said, it was a tough watch, but in a different way than the tough watches we've had the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
Like it's not a tough watch as in like you can't get through it because it's like too intense or something like that. It's a tough
too
watch.
Sad. Like it's sad, but not in the same way as the other movies.
It's sad and it's not, and for people like us, it's not relatable. So like,
I also felt more numb with this movie, if that makes sense. Like I felt the numbness of the parents, which I think was intentional.
Yeah, it's like when you know when we talk about like what even when Nicole Kidman does those AMC commercials and she's like, oh, you know, we come to the movie so we can feel something through the big screen. It's like, yeah, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, I don't feel anything. Like
which again, I do think is intentional because that's what the parents I think felt. Like they don't feel sadness; they feel like what the hell happened, kind of numbness. And I think Taylor Sheridan's goal was to also give you that as well.
Well, that also does make sense too, because when you think about how like the state of shock that everybody is in the movie, like throughout just most of it, and
Jeremy Renner's character especially, like his family, it's like they still feel that numbness. They're not, you know, it doesn't go away kind of thing, which obviously it wouldn't, but it's like, wow.
And it's like a shock not just to them, but like when you think about like the word shock, like what happens when you stay out in the cold too long, you become numb. You know what happens to you go into shock, like a different kind of shock.
Which happened literally in this movie, by the way.
So it's like there's multiple kind of little meanings here to things, and that makes it important. It's just that but like. Movies for me, like I don't mind movies that make you think a little bit, but for me, it's like I want a movie to entertain me. So it's like, I'm just somebody where it's like me, I'm on my pea brain, where I'm like, okay, I just want fun. I either want fun or I want to be scared. I want one or the other. And like, but there are different kinds of movies. It's like certain, and this kind of movie is important for multiple reasons. So I still think it's a good movie. And I still liked it. I would still probably watch it maybe one more time, but I wouldn't go back and like watch it 5-10 times. Yeah. So
how many times have you watched this, Shane? Now that
3.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else, Shane, on this film? Any like other sort of final thoughts?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, Next week we'll finally have a more fun movie.
Yeah, we're getting with the good
stuff.
My
Cousin Vinny.
Yep,
we're doing My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen it, so I'm so excited.
I'll tell you right now, you're gonna see why. You're gonna see why Scoop and I love it, and it's not just because Scoop's Italian and being around Italian culture, but you're gonna see why people from New Jersey love this movie too. So, like this movie is like a New Jersey staple. This plays on TV so damn often.
For like us. On your local channels.
Yes, It does. So I love this movie. I never get tired of it. We're gonna have a blast covering this movie next week. It's gonna be so much fun.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Brandon, did we officially picked our Christmas movie, right? Because I thought we did. Are we doing? I want to confirm. We're doing Bad Santa, right?
I mean, I just threw it out there as a joke, but if you want to do it, I'm down for doing it.
I'm not against doing Bad Santa. I've only seen parts of it, and I assume it would be really funny.
Yeah, I still kind of want to do it. I think Bad Santa's like it's good because we're not doing something like real like kind of kiddie Christmas movie. No, that's an R-rated like Christmas movie. So that's gonna be fun. Like, and it's like everybody's like, oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I think Die Hard's a Christmas movie, but everybody's seen Die Hard, and B, Die Hard, we know what it is already. Like,
I've never seen it, but I know the basis of it.
Mike, you've never seen Die Hard?
No.
Oh my God. Well, we know what we're doing for the off season then.
At least one of the movies.
Yeah, but like, it's like out of Christmas movies, it's like you can do basically either Die Hard, because everybody's like, oh, it's the edgy Christmas movie. Like, let's do that one. It's like, but everybody's seen it. But Bad Santa's edgy, and it's still a Christmas movie, and it's still a comedy.
It's an actual like Christmas movie. So,
so it's still funny. Like I like doing Bad Santa. Bad Santa's fun. I think we should do that.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, I'm down to do it. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I know Shane's out of town, but I assume Shane will enjoy watching that on the beaches of Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I'll watch it on the plane. Why not?
Why are you there again?
Just because I can.
Just because you can.
No, because here's the thing, Christmas is like, it's always a big production at the Hanson household, and it stresses us all out. So my mom was like, what if this year we just went to Hawaii instead and said F it to all that? And I was like, great, I'll see you there.
Oh my God! Well,
it's a shorter flight for you, right? Compared, because I can't get out there. It's too damn far.
It's what is it, Robert? 5.5 hours from here.
5.5, 6 hours. How far is it for you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say 9. Yeah, I was gonna say for us it's probably about 9.
10.
Because my grandmother used to come out from Samoa. So my great grandmother used to come out from Samoa. And when she would have to have a layover. So she would have a layover, I think, in California. And then she would fly from California over here. So my great grandmother, she hated, like, she didn't mind coming out here, but she hated flying like back. She's like, ugh. Like, I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm like, you have to go back home across, halfway across the world. So, like, I would love to go out there at some point, but you guys are so much closer. Like, I don't want to fly that long.
Dude, one of my life goals for this show is, like, maybe around Christmas time or something, we do a show on the beaches of Hawaii. We just set up a mic stand there, put out some beach chairs.
It'd probably be easier just to do it in Florida.
Also fair. You want an alligator during the show?
Listen, I know beaches in Florida that are fantastic.
I just want to do one on a beach, warm.
Yeah, Florida, bro. Literally, the one that's like an hour from my house is it's considered the nicest beach in Florida. It's Siesta Key. That beach is gorgeous. So
also, I just think it'd be so funny to just be like, hey, we're talking about football.
And we're damn sure not doing it on the beaches in New Jersey, because you're gonna take one step in the wrong direction, you step on a hypodermic needle or a broken bottle of beer. So we're not doing it on the cold sand in New Jersey anytime soon.
Or rainy Seattle, no way.
No.
But yeah, guys, we have a bad one on Thursday. Steelers Bengals.
Hey. I don't want to watch that.
So yeah,
I don't want to watch 90-year-old Joe Flacco. I really don't.
So yeah,
he's been on my TV screen way too much this season.
Oh my God, Shane, are you excited for that?
No. Good night.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. Have a great
All right.
rest of your week, everyone.
See ya.
Peace.
Not everybody.